and they have these big skeletons, and so it's culturally it's something. If you've seen Coco, it's like Coco coming to life in Memphis. So it's pretty awesome, and there's tons of activities, tons of other of people and organizations that partner with them, so they also pay a big part of it.
How cool. And I don't know if you can see it from your end, Hyro, but I actually have the headlines up so that the viewers can kind of see what you guys
Yeah.
have been working on. But I see on one of the subtitles is bigger and better than ever. What makes it this year's event that they're working on? Why is it going to be bigger and better?
So I know that it started. So there was last year, right? I think what was it during COVID? They couldn't really do much. Um, and so coming out of COVID, it was kind of difficult, I think, for them to like. Well, during COVID, it was difficult for them to actually do the parade, interact with people. So what they did is they kind of had a reverse parade where, okay, now let's have the cars coming through, and then we'll just kind of like be on the outside. And after COVID, and they're like, hey, let's bring back to the traditional thing that we've been doing, which is the actual the floats, the parade. So now that so you have more people participating in the floats, like in the parade. So that just makes it more awesome, right? And
Yeah.
yeah. And the Brooks Museum, the partner with the Brooks Museum, I know they have a lot to contribute to. And if you looked at those sites, it's an amazing grounds. And so and more information, you can also find it on laprensalatina.com. You can go to the Casa Teatro website. You can go to their social media pages as well.
Alrighty, that sounds great. I'm actually looking forward to that. I know I talked with Monica about that event, so I'm really looking forward to that parade because it'll be my first time out there in attendance. Let's switch gears now. Let's talk about another
Yeah.
headline here. I think I see one. Is this dealing with Hurricane Helene?
Yeah, so with it's just been a few weeks and it was just I know we felt on and here in Tennessee we had floodings, right? And east well all the way to North Carolina and parts of East Tennessee and all these other places, but man, Florida has just been getting hit. It's if it's not Helene, it's Milton, and what we're looking at the aftermath, and it looks like there's over $20 billion in recovery efforts, over $240 in I mean 240 fatalities that has happened. So we're just looking. We are paying attention to how the whole rebuilding and recovery efforts are going to come back to Florida.
Yeah, and just looking at that image that you guys have
Yeah.
for this particular topic, it just really puts it into perspective of, how bad some people, what they experienced there, the high waters there, the flooding. It was definitely
Yeah. And
a
it
tragic
was
event, you
uncommon,
know?
and I think it was uncommon to see back-to-back storms like that, you know?
Yes, I mean
Yeah.
we went from Helene to Milton, and then it's just like we still need time to I know the people in Florida they needed time to kind of revamp and get things set, and
Mhm.
then another hurricane just comes right in, so it's definitely
Yeah,
been busy for them and sending prayers their way. Thanks so much
that's
for that
right.
headline. Let's also talk. I saw in the corner there was John Morant there, and of course it's that
Yeah.
time of the year. It's the season. I know it's preseason right now. We have a game tonight, but how's that been going? Just kind of documenting that.
Yeah, so, with Moran past his suspensions and, revamped the roster, the Grizzlies are they're ready to compete again, under the head coach, Tyler Jenkins, and so, experts say that, the Grizzlies this year have a 69% chance of making the playoffs and 6.9% chance of reaching the finals, so that's the experts saying that, that's not me, so, but I'm super excited, John Morant was out last year. He had injuries, and not only that, this year we also have a standout name by rookie Zach Edey, who was selected in the 2024 draft, and so his towering presence is gonna be surely something that's gonna be a plus for the Grizzlies, and so we're super excited to see it. I mean, we just got off Derrick Rose retirement also, which is it's one of the most notable offseason storylines too.
Oh, for sure. I think there's a game tonight I plan to attend. We're facing the Miami Heat. So I can't wait to see our Grizz in action, especially that rookie Zach Edey. He's tall, by the way. Uh,
Yeah, he's
uh, yeah, he's
yeah. No, I
tall.
was gonna say he's tall.
Yeah, he is. Hyro, were there any other topics that you wanted to discuss today? I know you guys are always busy. It's always something to talk
Yeah.
about. Was there anything you wanted to add?
No, so it's always a pleasure talking to you guys at Channel 5. Make sure you continue watching us on the digital desk, of course, at Channel 5, on our social media sites at La Prensa Latina Media. Distribution points, you can find those at laprensalatina.com. So see where you can find the nearest actual physical print publication near you. And no, it's always a pleasure. Taylor, thank you so much for it's nice surprise to see you this week, this Friday. So hope to see you again. And we gotta
Absolutely.
catch up because I know we gotta do some recap on Hispanic Heritage Month, and let's we gotta bump heads to see, hey, what can we do better next year, right? It's like, hey, some cool creative ideas that we can do.
Hey, I like that. Always looking forward to that. Hyro, thanks so much for stopping by the digital desk and looking forward to chatting with you again. We'll see you.
Thank you. See you.
Alrighty, guys, taking you outside this morning, 54 degrees at 9:43. We have more Action News 5 digital desk. As a matter of fact, at 10:30, we're speaking with a pharmacist at Regional One Health about medicine safety. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back in the next 60 seconds.
Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm Andrew Douglas. There is so many amazing support programs out there for so many Mid-Southerners. Memphis, Mid-South, we have an incredible medical community, and we have an incredible medical community just for pregnant mothers. In fact, there are so many different support resources and so many different websites and call centers that people can go when they are pregnant to get any kind of information that they need. And one of the biggest support resources are midwives. And what exactly do they do, and how do they support pregnant women? I'm joined right now by the Director of Midwifery Services at Regional One Health, Bria Loft, joining us on the digital desk now. Bria, good morning to you. Can you really kind of explain to our audience what midwives do to support pregnant mothers?
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me. Nurse midwifery is very unique in the fact that we are both medically trained and also trained to support socially and kind of the whole woman during pregnancy, childbirth, and the postpartum period. We are all trained at accredited universities. I, for instance, went to Vanderbilt. I have a master's from Vanderbilt in nurse midwifery. And then I also have a doctorate from University of Alabama. So we're very trained to um, know the medical parts of preparing a woman for birth, doing all the prenatal care, knowing when we need to refer out to a higher level of care. But we also believe in physiologic birth and shared decision making. So it's a great marrying of two kind of perspectives to support that woman to getting that birth that she desires.
Can you talk about the difference between a midwife and an OBGYN?
Okay, so a doctor, of course, has a longer educational period because they're getting trained in not only outpatient clinical things, obstetrics, gynecology, but they're also being trained to do births and to do all kinds of surgeries and upper level diagnostic services for women. So it's a completely different um, frame of reference. The thing about OBGYNs and nurse midwives, we work very well together as a team. That's what we do at Regional One. I have a great group of attending physicians that we work very closely with on the labor hall, in the office, that we run things by each other. They will ask us about birth because we're birth experts, right? And we will refer to them when we have something more complicated where the woman needs a higher level of care. So it's a great thing to go together in a group, which Regional One has recognized, which I'm very grateful for. And it makes a great environment for birth.
What do you hear your patients say when they are asked, and some of the reasons why they chose to have a midwife during pregnancy?
Some things that I hear is they want to have more time spent with them in their office visits, and we're given that time that they need to discuss preparation for birth, answering questions completely, making them feel like they're heard. Um, our doctors are good at doing that too, but that's where I hear maybe from their experience from another birth they've had or another pregnancy they've had, they felt like they didn't have any say in their testing, in the way they give birth, different preferences. They were rushed. So I feel like that is one of the main things I hear is you listen to me. I've never had anybody listen to me and really value my opinion as the patient giving birth.
So, some questions, where can a midwife deliver a baby, and can the mom have an epidural? A lot of those questions come up often.
Very common questions that I get. Um, this is your birth, so you can have any sort of pain management that you want. It is not, you can still birth with a midwife, have an epidural. We can support you in a non medicated birth. But what we do support all the time is mom's choices. We give medical recommendations, but at the end of the day, that shared decision making model that we're so good at, that mother and her partner can decide what's best for them. Now, in Memphis or across the United States, 90% of all nurse midwifery births are done in the hospital, but there is an 8% of births that are done in a birth center. And then about less than 2%, about 2% are done at home by a certified nurse midwife. And so there's a lot of different levels of choices. For Regional One, our midwifery group is all hospital birth. So we make it our mission to help that woman and her family to have a great delivery, even in the hospital setting. Trying to be high touch, low intervention support of that natural, that normal process of physiologic birth.
Bria, let me ask you, if someone's interested in having a midwife during pregnancy, what questions should they ask, and when should they consider having their first appointment or meeting?
We have a lot of patients that will come for a midwifery consultation even before they're pregnant. So you could call, this is just in our area, you could call our scheduling line, which is 515-5500, and get a consultation appointment. You can ask questions like, what does it look like to birth with a midwife? We can talk about what kind of birth you want, even if you're not pregnant and you're planning to be pregnant. That can be very helpful. We also can do your yearly gynecology exam. So we can do that well woman exam, and we can do birth control for you until you're ready to have a baby. So there's a lot of different things that midwives do that don't involve birth.
If someone wants to go online and learn more about midwifery, is there a place on Regional One's website?
There is. You can go on the Regional One website and put midwives in that search bar, and you can see our part of the website. You can also go to acnm.org. that helps you find a midwife in your area. If you're, several hours outside of Memphis and you want to find something closer to you, that can help you and give you a lot of information, including myths about, midwifery, like you can't have a epidural, those things that you asked, and also just general information of things that we can do for you as a patient.
Bria Loff, I think this has been very informative for our audience. We appreciate your time on the digital desk. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm Andrew Douglas. The American Red Cross, boy, they help out in all kinds of disasters, in all kinds of situations. And Hurricane Helene has been one of those situations that people that are affected in those areas, in those states, are going to have to be rebuilding and cleaning up for an extraordinary amount of time. It was just overwhelming, the disaster we're watching on TV, and certainly the American Red Cross relief efforts are underway right now. I'm joined right now by Trevor Riggin, President of Humanitarian Services with the American Red Cross. Trevor, good morning to you. Can you give us an update on how relief efforts are going right now?
Well, thank you so much for having me on, Andrew. I'm actually here in Tampa, Florida, where we have our headquarters for relief operations for the entire state of Florida for Helene and Milton. But as you described, these two storms back to back move not only through Florida, but Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, even up into Tennessee and West Virginia. And the devastation is very real. You can see just traumatic hurricane impacts, inundation and surge along the west coast of Florida, tornadoes that happened even before landfall, massive damage to homes and power all up through Georgia and South Carolina. And then as you noted, we have just extreme impact in Western North Carolina with some of the mountain communities. And right now, the Red Cross has over 2,000 Red Cross volunteers and staff on the ground serving. We have mobilized emergency response vehicles, serving hot meals, distributing supplies. We've also opened hundreds of shelters over the last 2 weeks. In fact, tens of thousands of people have come to the Red Cross and our partners for shelters when there simply was no other place to go. And we are still seeing families show up at shelters even today as that need continues, as you have extended power outages all across the area. The other impact was in reunification. With the loss of power and cell phone connectivity, thousands of families couldn't connect with their loved ones. We received over 11,000 calls for help in reunifying families. We have 200 dedicated Red Crossers working those cases today to make sure those families can reconnect. But all of this is just the beginning. We know there's a long road to recovery. We're beginning health and mental health resources. We'll begin casework, working alongside our community partners to make sure the Red Cross is there by these families for the long term.
So many families, thousands are affected by all of this. And I know that the public right now, we have thousands of people that watch us here each and every morning on the digital desk. I know they want to help. What are some of the best ways that they can help? In fact, Trevor, there was some people that reached out to me that said, hey, I have all these different supplies that I want to send. Is there a way perhaps that people can do that?
So supplies are difficult in a disaster of this scale because there's so many resources moving in, the logistics of it. In fact, I saw firsthand in North Carolina and other communities where warehouses were starting to overflow with resources. They are needed, but it's the timing of when they're needed, making sure we're not overwhelming communities. So the easiest way to mobilize not just the Red Cross, but other nonprofits is to make a financial gift. And you can go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make that donation. You can also volunteer. Our organization has more than 90% volunteers, and volunteers are needed every single day. I met a volunteer yesterday in St. Lucie, Florida, signed up on Wednesday in Seattle to become a volunteer. And by Saturday, she was serving in a shelter in Florida, serving those impacted by a tornado. You can go to redcross.org, sign up. The training is free and we get you mobilized and out there in the community. And then the last way is to donate blood. There are hundreds of blood drives that are canceled when weather like this comes in, and that there is a constant need for blood in communities. You can go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS, make an appointment to donate blood. That in itself could save a life.
Anything else you want our audience to know about, Trevor? I mean, this is something that unfortunately we are seeing, and it's not necessarily A1 or the first story, but it is still something that so many lives and families are profoundly changed from this point forward. Anything else you'd like them to know?
The one thing that may not be obvious if you don't live in the Southeast or haven't been in these communities impacted is the repetitive loss. So if you look at the constant hurricanes that have hit the west coast of Florida, 6 in just the last 2 years. I've talked to families in the Big Bend area of Florida who lost their home in Hurricane Ian or in Hurricane Idalia, and now they've had to ride through Debbie, Francine, Helene, and Milton, each of those bringing more loss either to their property or they've had to evacuate, which means expense. The power has been out for days, maybe even weeks, and that means they've lost all the food in the refrigerator. So just the continual impact and the repetitive loss in these communities is creating real trauma. That means this isn't going to be a short-term immediate response. This will take long-term recovery to help these families move forward. And unfortunately, this is a trend we're seeing all over the country. This is not just a Florida issue. We're seeing repetitive loss and wildfires in the west, and tornadoes in the middle of the country. And so we're just calling on people to join the Red Cross, whether it's making a financial donation or joining to be a volunteer. We do need your help.
Okay, anything else before we let you go? I appreciate your time on the digital desk. I know the American Red Cross is very busy in multiple states trying to help all these people that are affected and displaced.
No, I just greatly appreciate the time and the focus on these communities as they go through what is going to be a very difficult recovery.
Yeah, no question about it. Trevor Riggin with the American Red Cross. We appreciate your time here. Thank you for coming on and explaining exactly what's happening, best ways that people can help out, reach out, and do everything they can to help so many lives that are forever changed because of these storms. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
Starting off the day here on a Friday, a beautiful one across the Mid-South. Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis from the morning 40s on our way to the low 70s by the afternoon hours. Great weather setting up for a Friday football fever. Our game of the week, Christian Brothers, Purple Wave going up against the MUS Owls, one of the oldest rivalries in the area. Temperatures at kickoff tonight in the lower 60s, dropping into the upper 50s by the end of the game. Skies clear, not a chance for rain. Yet another week where Friday football not impacted by rainfall. Maybe a few clouds, though, overnight tonight. A light easterly breeze develops, mostly clear. Not as cool here in the city. I think we go upper 40s when you wake up early on your Saturday morning. In the outlying areas, lower 40s to start off the day. And a beautiful day of weather sets up for us on your Saturday. Temperatures topping out in the mid-70s. Before it's all said and done, tons of sunshine to go around. So some great weather that will also take you into your football forecast for the Memphis Tigers in the North Texas. Mean Green. Temperatures at kickoff over at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium at 6:30 in the upper 60s, easing their way down to the low 60s. But yet again, sunshine to clear skies and rain chances standing at a big old goose egg. Other games across the region, not looking terribly bad across the area. I mean, this is like quintessential college football weather here across the area over the next couple of days. A-State taking the road trip to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, going up against the Golden Eagles of Southern Mississippi. Hattiesburg, 80 degrees with sunshine. JSU back at home, temperatures at 78 degrees there at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Right here on Action News 5 Plus. 5.3, 907 on Xfinity. You'll be able to watch the Grambling and UAPB game right here. 78 degrees, beautiful day of weather, no delays there. Of course, the third Saturday in October, Knoxville, Tennessee, going to be the site of the Tennessee-Alabama game. 74, mostly sunny skies. 76 in Starkville, mostly sunny for the Texas A&M game. LSU and our friends to the south in the boot. LSU taking the road trip up to Fayetteville, 77 degrees, and MSU, like I said, at Starkville. Ole Miss on a bye week this week. Give you a first alert to a rebound in warmth over the next couple of days across the area, and actually looking ahead to the next 6 to 10 days. Above average temperatures and good likelihood. So if you're looking forward to a little bit of warmth coming back into the fold, it's not far off from making its presence known here in the Mid-South here the next few days. Of course, stay up to date with the very latest anytime and everywhere on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. Download it in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Again, 73 the forecast high for today. Tomorrow, after starting off in the morning 40s, maybe a passing cloud early in the day. I think it's going to be full sunshine through the afternoon hours if you've got plans heading to the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk for the American Cancer Society over at Shelby Farms Park in Hyde Lake. Great weather for that. Lots of sunshine. The walk itself starts at 11 a.m., 66 degrees at that point. But, of course, some of the festivities start a little bit earlier at 9:30. About 54, 55 degrees at that point, low 70s by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We also have the Cooper Young Beer Fest. That's going on tomorrow afternoon. River Arts Festival kicks off tomorrow, continues on Sunday. High of 78 degrees, lots of sunshine there along Riverside Drive. Cannot complain about this weather. Light and variable winds. Rain chances standing at a big old goose egg. Starting off at 10 o'clock, 62, mid-70s by 1 and mid to upper 70s by the end of the day. We continue an upward trend to the low 80s as we head towards Monday and Tuesday. And by Wednesday, probably hits our peak. I will make a mention, maybe there are a stray shower chance late Tuesday into early Wednesday as a weak boundary approaches us. Maybe a chance for a shower up into the Missouri Boot Hill, Northwest Tennessee, far northeastern Arkansas, but I think those chances are going to be very slim, less than 10% on those opportunities. We'll be the first to alert you to any changes in that part of the forecast, but that would be the highlight point if there were to be any rain. We're right now on day 19 of not seeing rainfall, and if this comes to fruition, I mean, we could almost go through the entire month of October without a drop of rain. There's only been one other year on record at Memphis where there was no rain recorded, and that was back in the 1800s. Behind that little boundary, a little cooler air will go upper 70s for highs on Thursday and Friday, maybe even a little cooler. Some of the indications going a little cooler for Thursday with a gradual rebound to the upper 70s to the low 80s as we head towards the final weekend in the month of October.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. The Harlem Globetrotters. They are sensational. We all love their show. If you've ever been to one at FedEx Forum, you know what I'm talking about. Well, last year they had a TV show, a TV series, and it did extraordinarily well. Well, guess what? They're going to have a new series on television, and they're marking a new world tour as well. And I am fortunate enough to right now be joined by two Harlem Globetrotters. I am joined by Sherelle Torch George and Lucius Too Tall Winston on the Action News 5 digital desk. Tell me, you're spinning the basketballs. I love the tricks you guys do. How are you this morning?
Doing
We're
good.
good.
Good, good. So tell me a little bit about this new TV show. I guess for the Harlem Globetrotters, the first time in 40 years you guys have had a TV series, and how this is going to work with your tour and everything. Good morning.
Good morning. So we have new series. We have a new host, Kenny the Jet Smith, NBA legend, sports analyst. He's going to be our host for season 3, which premieres October 5th on NBC's The More You Know. We're excited to be back. Fans will get an opportunity to get to know us off the court like they did in the first 2 seasons. But I think we're taking it to another level. I seen a teammate in the ocean surfing. I got an opportunity to go to Dollywood and hit an amazing trick shot. So fans tune in for season 3. We're Emmy nominated, but we're trying to win this year. So we need your support.
Absolutely.
All right, so tell me when we're an NBC affiliate. So tell us exactly one more time where we can watch it.
So every Saturday on NBC's The More You Know.
Wonderful, awesome. Okay, so now this is coinciding with your world tour. Tell me about that. Too Tall, what's going on with you, man?
Absolutely. Tickets go on sale today. You can go to harlemglobetrotters.com. You can learn about the players. You can buy jerseys. You can get basketballs, wristbands, headbands, programs. But the tickets are on sale right now at harlemglobetrotters.com. We cannot wait to come back out to Memphis. One of my favorite places to play, not too far from where I live. So I definitely love coming out to Memphis to be with all our adoring fans.
I was going to say, when are you guys going to be in Memphis?
I got to check the date right here. So,
okay.
I believe it's going to be in January. I believe it's going to be in January.
Yeah.
So definitely check that list for. We'll be there. We'll be there in January.
Excellent, excellent. And I know it kicks off December 26th in Boston. You guys got a pair of basketballs there. I was just going to ask you if you guys, you guys are known for your trick shots and different things. You want to show us anything on camera?
Of course.
Yeah, definitely. Show me your 2 ball.
All right. Let me see if I can stand up real quick. Let me see if I can stand up. Let me see that ball real quick. So boom, I'm gonna do this real quick for you. Maybe two spins. So spin one right here. One right here. You take one around like this. One around that way like that, and then you put it on top just like that right there.
Not bad. That is good. I love it. Sherelle, what about you?
Oh, this is my favorite trick, the ball spin. It's in my rookie year. It took me about 4 weeks to learn how to ball spin properly. Too Tall is an amazing ball handler. He could spin 2-3 balls, but for me, the iconic ball spin is my favorite trick.
So tell me, for you guys personally, what is the most enjoyable aspect of going on tour and seeing the fans and performing on the court?
I'll say for me is playing and then Magic Pass. So definitely when I'm in Magic Pass, it's a free game that fans get to come out to where I get a chance to answer questions. Anything you want to ask about a Globetrotter, about my life, anything, and it lasts for 30 minutes. And then after the Q&A session, you get a chance to come down, take pictures, sign autographs, and I teach you how to spin the ball just like a Globetrotter. So it's very interactive with me. So I get a chance to talk to not only parents, but the kids and learn about some of the things they like to do, whether it's sports, whether it's arts, whether it's music, whether anything that they want to be in life. So that's very important to me that I can learn about you for that time that you're there. And then after that, just put on a show for all the fans that's there and then see all the smiles on the faces as you come out. And then when they leave, just to hear all the kind words like, man, we really enjoyed it. That's what we needed. I haven't seen my daughter or my son smile, but when we brought them here, like they laughed, they had fun, and they can't wait to come back. So that's just so fulfilling for me.
Same for me. Kids smiling, the fan interaction, the connection. Like it doesn't stop after the game. So many fans reach out to me via social media and the connection lasts forever. We become friends. We update each other. So for me, it's just an interaction and the connection that we have with our fans. So that's the best part for me.
That's fantastic. I brought my kids when they were younger to Harlem Globetrotters, and they still talk about it, and they remember it clearly. It's a fantastic organization and all that you guys do. Anything else you want to mention to our crowd here in Memphis, North Mississippi, Eastern Arkansas, West Tennessee?
Just make sure you go out to harlemglobetrotters.com. Get those tickets. They're on sale today. Like you said, we'll be in Memphis. We'll be in Mississippi and the surrounding areas. January 26th, go get those tickets. Can't wait to see all our fans. And make sure you check out our Emmy-nominated series. October 5th, Play It Forward on NBC every Saturday morning. Please, come on, check us out.
Okay, Lucius Too Tall Winston and Sherelle Torch George, we appreciate your time here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Congratulations on all your success, and we'll look for you in Memphis in January. Thanks very much.
Sounds good.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm Andrew Douglas. Halloween rapidly approaching, and for so many people, various seasonal celebrations, that can really bring in a need for increased vigilance for parents, for caregivers, for kids alike, especially those with food allergies. Let's bring in a couple of people to talk about this very issue. I'm joined now by Dr. Shahzeed Mustafa, a board-certified allergist, and Margaret, and another guest there. It's not Margaret, or perhaps it is. Good morning to you both. First off, Dr. Mustafa, can you explain some of the food allergies that so many people have run into during Halloween?
Yeah, so food allergies have been increasing recently. Common food allergens include peanuts, tree nuts, milk, eggs, wheat, soy, seeds, and seafood. I think it's very important to note that a food allergy is very different than a food sensitivity or a food intolerance. It's an immune-mediated reaction to the food that typically happens within minutes of exposure. It can range from mild, itching, or rash to severe, life-threatening anaphylaxis. So raising awareness is very important, and it's an exciting time right now as there's some new treatment options.
Okay, so Margaret, I understand that you are a mother to a 16-year-old boy who suffered a severe allergic reaction. Tell me about that, and how do you go about making sure Halloween celebrations and seasonal celebrations are okay?
So my son was diagnosed with food allergies to peanuts and tree nuts when he was 2. And shortly after that diagnosis, he actually was exposed to his allergen and had an anaphylactic reaction. So from that point on, we became very vigilant about label reading and communicating with family and friends and his school about his food allergy, and really having an open conversation with Matthew so that he felt comfortable to advocate for himself, and that it was just part of his life, that there was nothing wrong with him. This was just something that he had to be mindful of. So when it came to Halloween, from a young age, he felt most comfortable to go trick-or-treating and to make sure he told the homeowner that he had a peanut and tree nut allergy. And if they had a treat that was safe for him, he was happy to take it. If for some reason they didn't, when we would go through his bucket at the end of the night, we made sure to compensate him for the candy he was selling to us by paying him a quarter for each piece of candy. And fast forward to today, avoiding his allergen is still first and foremost part of his treatment. But with the guidance of his allergist, he is also using Xolair as part of his treatment.
Well, I'm so glad that he is okay, Margaret. And wow, that can be a scary situation for any parent out there, certainly for your 16-year-old son as well. Dr. Mustafa, what are some best practices for people during seasonal celebrations like Halloween? We have Christmas coming up as well, Thanksgiving. What are some best practices? Are there like maybe 3 or 4 bullet points that everyone should know about?
Yeah, I think hands down best practice starts with strict avoidance, reading labels, knowing ingredients of things you're eating at, that if they're not packaged, that a family, get together around the holidays. Beyond strict avoidance, being prepared to treat accidental exposures with medications like epinephrine. And then therapeutic options. Oral immunotherapy was mentioned, and then Xolair, which is omalizumab, is the only option that's FDA approved for children and adults over the age of 1. It's a well-tolerated medication that increases the amount of allergen it takes to have a reaction, hopefully decreasing your likelihood of a reaction in setting of accidental exposure. Like any medication, there are risks and benefits. Most common side effects include local discomfort. It is an injectable medication, dosed every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the dose. And a risk of anaphylaxis has been reported with Xolair as well. So these are opportunities to have discussions with your healthcare team to decide what's best for you and your loved one, your family, and to manage your food allergy.
So, Dr. Mustafa, where can people go for more information about food allergies, treatment, and best practices?
Yeah, I really encourage individuals with food allergy, or if you know someone with food allergy, to speak to your healthcare provider, your healthcare team. Speak to a board-certified allergist about treatment options, what may be best for you. And you can also visit Xolair.com for more information.
Okay, thank you to you both on a very important topic, especially this time of season. We're entering into the holidays. Thanks so very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm Andrew Douglas. The Candlelight Concert Series is set to light up Memphis Brooks Museum of Art in Memphis with some special Halloween-themed shows. Of course, next month, we're already in October next month. We're finishing out the last few days of September. Let's talk about these Halloween-themed shows with Deidre Scott. She's a senior project manager with Fever. And Deidre, thanks for joining us on the digital desk. So tell me about these Halloween-themed shows. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so excited to chat with you, Andrew, about our candlelight concerts and specifically the Haunted Evening of Halloween Classics. We'll be at the Memphis Brooks Museum of Art on the 25th and on the 30th. and people can expect an enchanting concert with some iconic movie soundtracks such as The Addams Family, Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters, The Exorcist, Thriller, and that's not even half of it. It promises to be a fun and spooky night to celebrate Halloween in a unique way.
That sounds really unique. I love those shows and those movies that you mentioned. I mean, that's a great time. So tell me how it works. If someone wants to go on October 25th or October 30th, what do they do?
Yeah, you can download the Fever app on the Google Play Store or Apple Store, or you can head to our website, feverup.com. And once you select Memphis as your city, you could see a wide array of other concerts. We've got a tribute to Lauryn Hill. We've got neo soul favorites with some Prince and Childish Gambino on there. So there's a lot of different things that you can see when you download the app or you head onto the website. And then you could also get your Halloween tickets.
Okay, so then once you get those tickets, then what do? You show up at the Brooks, you go inside, and it's all transformed?
It's a completely unique concert experience. We have transformed, as you said, the concert going experience. We've added visual dynamic dimension with candles and thousands of candles to light up the space. And you'll be hearing renditions of some of your favorite songs on a classical string quartet composition and arrangement. So you can expect to be there for about an hour and hear a little bit more about the history of classical music, the history of some of the compositions, as well as meet some really talented local musicians at the Beale Street Quartet.
Okay, and so this is for you said everybody 8 years old and up. And how much are the tickets?
Yeah, starting price for our tickets are from $10.98, and then we anywhere from 35. And you could also purchase a like snapshot photo so that you can get a photo with the amazing enchantment experience with the candles.
So if someone wants to check this out, Deidre, and maybe learn some more about these concerts and the Brooks Museum, is there, you mentioned the website, feverup.com. Is there a link to that on the Brooks Museum website too?
There is, so you can find us there. You could also see us on our secret media network, and it'll have a lot more information there as well.
Tell me why. What was the ideas behind it all?
A great question. So, Fever is an experiences platform that's looking to bring new experiences to each and every city that we possibly can. And specifically for Candlelight, we wanted to bring classical music back. So, we're trying to democratize that and make it a really local experience so that we're a part of the city's cultural heritage. We're giving visibility to talented local artists and bringing a wide variety of programs to local attendees and meeting the different tastes. You might have heard of these soundtracks on your Spotify playlist or something like that, but hearing them on strings is a totally different auditory experience that we wanted to bring to people and democratize classical music.
So the Addams Family, Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters, Thriller, Exorcist, those kind of things. That sounds spooky, scary, Halloween-like, and it sounds like a good time. How many people are you expecting to attend, Deidre?
We typically sell out the venue, so that is why we're trying to get people to get their tickets as early as possible. You can expect around 200 other people to be with you.
Okay, all right. Anything else you want to mention before we let you go here? This sounds like two great nights at the Brooks Museum.
Yeah, they come dressed up. We love when people come in costume. We love when people enjoy the music and leave reviews and always give us feedback on what we can do better and what you thought was amazing and what you want to see next in your city. So we're just really excited to bring this to Memphis and see what people think.
All right, Halloween candlelight concerts at the Brooks Museum, October 25th and October 30th. For more information, go to feverup.com or the Brooks Museum website. Deidre Scott, we appreciate your time on the digital desk. Thank you for letting us know about these very unique concerts, and good luck on those 2 concert dates.
Starting off the day here on a Friday, a beautiful one across the Mid-South. Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis from the morning 40s on our way to the low 70s by the afternoon hours. Great weather setting up for a Friday football fever. Our game of the week, Christian Brothers, Purple Wave going up against the MUS Owls, one of the oldest rivalries in the area. Temperatures at kickoff tonight in the lower 60s, dropping into the upper 50s by the end of the game. Skies clear, not a chance for rain. Yet another week where Friday football not impacted by rainfall. Maybe a few clouds, though, overnight tonight. A light easterly breeze develops, mostly clear, not as cool here in the city. I think we go upper 40s when you wake up early on your Saturday morning. In the outlying areas, lower 40s to start off the day. And a beautiful day of weather sets up for us on your Saturday. Temperatures topping out in the mid-70s. Before it's all said and done, tons of sunshine to go around, so some great weather that will also take you into your football forecast for the Memphis Tigers in the North Texas Mean Green. Temperatures at kickoff over at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium at 6:30 in the upper 60s, easing their way down to the low 60s. But yet again, sunshine to clear skies and rain chances standing at a big old goose egg. Other games across the region, not looking terribly bad across the area. I mean, this is like quintessential college football weather here across the area over the next couple of days. A-State taking the road trip to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, going up against the Golden Eagles of Southern Mississippi. Hattiesburg, 80 degrees with sunshine. JSU back at home, temperatures at 78 degrees there at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Right here on Action News 5 Plus. 5.3, 907 on Xfinity. You'll be able to watch the Grambling and UAPB game right here. 78 degrees, beautiful day of weather, no delays there. Of course, the third Saturday in October, Knoxville, Tennessee, going to be the site of the Tennessee-Alabama game. 74, mostly sunny skies. 76 in Starkville, mostly sunny for the Texas A&M game. LSU and our friends to the south in the boot. LSU taking the road trip up to Fayetteville, 77 degrees, and MSU, like I said, at Starkville. Ole Miss on a bye week this week. Give you a first alert to a rebound in warmth over the next couple of days across the area, and actually looking ahead to the next 6 to 10 days. Above average temperatures and good likelihood. So if you're looking forward to a little bit of warmth coming back into the fold, it's not far off from making its presence known here in the Mid-South here the next few days. Of course, stay up to date with the very latest anytime and everywhere on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. Download it in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Again, 73 the forecast high for today. Tomorrow, after starting off in the morning 40s, maybe a passing cloud early in the day. I think it's going to be full sunshine through the afternoon hours if you've got plans heading to the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk for the American Cancer Society over at Shelby Farms Park in Hyde Lake. Great weather for that. Lots of sunshine. The walk itself starts at 11 a.m., 66 degrees at that point. But, of course, some of the festivities start a little bit earlier at 9:30. About 54, 55 degrees at that point, low 70s by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We also have the Cooper Young Beer Fest. That's going on tomorrow afternoon. River Arts Festival kicks off tomorrow, continues on Sunday. High of 78 degrees, lots of sunshine there along Riverside Drive. Cannot complain about this weather. Light and variable winds. Rain chances standing at a big old goose egg. Starting off at 10 o'clock, 62, mid-70s by 1 and mid to upper 70s by the end of the day. We continue an upward trend to the low 80s as we head towards Monday and Tuesday. And by Wednesday, probably hits our peak. I will make a mention, maybe there are a stray shower chance late Tuesday into early Wednesday as a weak boundary approaches us. Maybe a chance for a shower up into the Missouri Boot Hill, Northwest Tennessee. far northeastern Arkansas, but I think those chances are going to be very slim, less than 10% on those opportunities. We'll be the first to alert you to any changes in that part of the forecast, but that would be the highlight point if there were to be any rain. We're right now on day 19 of not seeing rainfall, and if this comes to fruition, I mean, we could almost go through the entire month of October without a drop of rain. There's only been one other year on record at Memphis where there was no rain recorded, and that was back in the 1800s. Behind that little boundary, a little cooler air will go upper 70s for highs on Thursday and Friday, maybe even a little cooler. Some of the indications going a little cooler for Thursday with a gradual rebound to the upper 70s to the low 80s as we head towards the final weekend in the month of October.
Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. The time now is 10:33. Want to take a moment to discuss a very important topic today. We're talking about medicine safety, properly managing and using medication. And of course, we have Justin Greiner, a pharmacist at Regional One Health, who's going to break it all down for us this morning. Good morning to you, Justin. Can you hear me?
Good morning. I can.
Great. Thanks so much for stopping by the digital desk. I have a list of questions here, but let's just jump right into it. What are some important things we need to remember when it comes to taking medication?
So the most important thing is to take your medication regularly and as scheduled and as prescribed. We have a lot of folks with chronic diseases that we have medications that can treat and manage those diseases and really reduce negative outcomes, but you have to actually take your medicine and take it on a regular basis. And I know there are a lot of barriers to that sometimes, but usually those are things if we talk through them, we can overcome them. So that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. And I know you mentioned taking it routinely and having a schedule. What happens? Are there any consequences if you don't take it like at a set time at like 9 o'clock every morning? Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Well, it really depends on the medication itself. You know, there are over 20,000 prescription medications that are approved by the FDA. So, which is mind-boggling, the number of medications that are out there. So they do so many different things. It's hard to make a completely blanket statement. Most medications, if you take it normally at say 8 a.m. and you take it at 10 a.m., totally fine. It doesn't matter. But, there are cases where it is important. There's medication for thyroid called Synthroid or levothyroxine, where you would prefer to take it before breakfast. So it is important, or take it before you eat any food. So it is important for some medications to be very strict on how you take them. But most, if you're an hour or two off, it's not going to make that much difference. The most important thing is that you actually take the medication.
Oh, thanks for breaking that down for us. That's good to know. Also, when it comes to taking medication, and even when we're talking about pills here, I grew up on this mentality that I need to take it with water. What you suggest, is there a certain drink? What's the best thing to drink when you're taking pills?
Well, the way you were brought up to take it with water is 100% right. With a handful of exceptions for very specific medications that should be thoroughly explained to you when you're getting those medications, both from your prescriber and from your pharmacist. Almost all medications are best taken with water. There are different reasons. And again, if you every once in a while take it with a soda or with a coffee or something, if you do that very occasionally, it probably doesn't matter. But any medication that you take can interact with, say, soda. I love to drink a Diet Dr. Pepper, but I try not to take medication with it because it can change the way the medication breaks down in your stomach. The different components of your soda can interact with the medication depending on what the medication is. So it's almost always best to take it with water because it's not going to interact with the medications. When those medications were designed, they were studied, and we have data on taking them with water, and that's how they're supposed to be broken down. So I would 100% recommend water.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with water. And is it okay to, I know you mentioned earlier about with certain medications, I know it depends on what you're taking, but some you want to have breakfast before taking it. What about taking medicine right before you lay down to go to bed? Is that good? Would you recommend that?
Generally, that's not ideal. There's some different reasons. You know, one is that the probably the most important is that you can medication can actually get stuck in your esophagus. That's also a reason that it's important to take it with a glass of water. Uh, Medication. So medications, if they get stuck in your esophagus, if you lie down, that can maybe exacerbate that because you don't have gravity helping pull that medication down toward your stomach as well as your body's natural process of pushing things down the esophagus. And so if medications get stuck in your esophagus, or especially if that happens repeatedly, it can actually cause erosions in your esophagus. So that's something you want to avoid. And so I wouldn't recommend taking it right before you lie down. Give yourself 30 minutes before you lie down, ideally, before taking your medications.
Justin, we have so many people who tune in each and every morning, and I'm pretty sure they're probably taking notes because this is great advice. But for some people, they take, several medications. They have several different pills that they need to take throughout the day. Can you take them all at once, or would you recommend spacing them out?
Again, that's a conversation that's probably best had with your pharmacist, your individual pharmacist who knows your medications. And that's why it's really nice if you can to get all of your medications from one place, one pharmacy. Often we have 4 or 5 different doctors treating different conditions, and so they may not be always aware of all the other medications you're taking, but your pharmacist is, especially if you're able to get all of your medications from one place. So it's best to really just sit down and have that conversation. Many times that is fine to take all your medications together, but sometimes it's best to space them out just depending on the individual medications. They may reduce the absorption of other medications that you're taking, or they may actually either enhance or decrease the ability of other medications to work. So it's kind of hard to make a blanket statement. It's really best to look at that on an individual basis. And your pharmacist is a doctorally trained professional who is, that's their job, is to help you sort through those sort of issues.
Well, let's kind of talk about if you have a medication that you are no longer taking, how can you safely dispose it?
It depends on, what the medication is. Ideally, we don't just we ideally don't flush medications down the toilet. That's something that was, we have done in the past and have been advised to do in the past to dispose of them. But if we can, we'd prefer not to send them into the water supply. So there are some different options depending on your situation, how close you are to certain if you're in an outline area and you don't have easy access to a pharmacy. Some pharmacies do have disposal slash take back kind of programs that can help you dispose of medications. Otherwise, the recommendation would be to put it into a gallon jug, put your medication in there, put some kitty litter or coffee grounds, and just kind of mix those up really well, and then dispose of that in your trash in a way that an animal or a child or even another adult wouldn't be tempted to take that medication. because even a medication that is not like say a dangerous opioid, it may be a blood pressure medicine, but if someone finds that, especially a child, and takes it, it could be very dangerous. So we just want to make sure that it's something that does not get into the hands of another person.
Absolutely. And speaking of medicine just getting in the hands of certain people, we all know the medication is expensive. It can be expensive. What advice do you have to those who cannot afford the medication that they need?
So that's a very common situation, and as you may be able to tell, I'm very passionate about the role of the pharmacist, and getting to know your pharmacist is an invaluable way to help take control over your own healthcare. And they speaking to your pharmacist or your provider, your physician or nurse practitioner or PA. You can talk to any of those folks about this, but your pharmacist is really well positioned to say, uh, your doctor prescribed this medication that under your insurance is $200 a month, but there's another medication that's in the same class that works almost identically, that is going to give you the same bang for your buck as far as how well the medication works. But under your insurance, it's only $5 a month, and they can help you work, find alternatives. There are manufacturers programs that for medications that are very expensive and that may not be covered by insurance, that they can help you to locate and to be to take advantage of. Also, sometimes at our pharmacy at Regional One, we have at our outpatient pharmacy, we're sometimes able to identify patients who don't have insurance, who actually do qualify for insurance, and that can be a game changer in helping them not just with their medications, but also in finding a provider to care for their health care.
This is some great information, Justin. Before we wrap things up, I know you could probably go on and on about this. As you mentioned, you are passionate. I can hear it in your voice. But what is the main takeaway from this conversation we're having today that you want our viewers at home to take away from this conversation?
I guess I would go back to what I started with, in that we live in in the 21st century. We have so many options now that we didn't have just say 20 or 30 years ago to treat a range of illnesses, both chronic and acute. Some illnesses that we uh, would just have to sort of write off as untreatable, we now have treatments for. It's almost miraculous. But if you don't take your medication, or for whatever reason, then it's not going to help you. So if you're prescribed medication, I would urge you and encourage you to take it on a regular basis. If there's some reason that you're not able to, if it causes you to feel bad, to have an upset stomach, or to be constipated, or it just doesn't agree with you for some reason, have that conversation with your pharmacist or your provider, and figure out what we can do. A lot of times we can help alleviate those issues either by changing to another similar medication or whatnot. But the medication can't help you if you don't take it. And again, there are lots of reasons you may not be able to, and often being able to afford them is a major issue. But as we've said, there are options out there that may help you to be able to afford those medications that are, they may not. Some medications save your life immediately, like an EpiPen. Some extend your life and your health over many years, such as anti-diabetes medicines. So it is crucial, for you to understand as much as you can about your medications and why you should take them. And your pharmacist is an absolute great resource to have those conversations with, and gain a deeper understanding of the medications that you take.
Alrighty, that was Justin Griner with Regional One Health. This has been so informative. Thanks so much for stopping by the Action News 5 digital desk. We look forward to chatting with you again in the future.
Thank you. Great to talk to you.
Absolutely. We'll see ya. All right.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm Andrew Douglas. The last weekend at the Overton Park Shell. I'm bringing in Shelby Smith one more time to talk about the fall schedule. Shelby, it's really been a pleasure talking with you during the summer and fall season. The fall season's finally coming to an end. This is the last weekend, right?
Yeah, this is the last weekend here for the Orion Free Concert Series. We're super excited to gather everyone on the lawn one last time before we kind of shut things down for the winter season. We'll be back obviously early summer of 2025, but we've got some really great shows coming at us this weekend. The Barcades are actually going to be taking the stage on Friday, which we're super stoked about because that show was actually rained out. It was supposed to happen on September 28th, but we are so thankful that we could bring them back for the finale of this special event that we host here at the Overton Park Shell. So that's happening Friday. And then on Sunday, we're officially closing things out with the Tennessee Shakespeare Company. They are going to be bringing the Comedy of Errors to the Overton Park Shell. It's a pretty hilarious little story that's full of like puns and slapstick humor, mistaken identities. It's going to be definitely getting people laughing too.
That sounds awesome. I've seen those kind of things before, and they are really funny, and the crowd gets into it, and they feed off the crowd for sure. And the Barcades, I mean, legendary Memphis group hitting the stage, and no rain in the forecast, Shelby. Yay!
They performed here actually in 1972, so we're super stoked to have them back. But yeah, no rain in the forecast. It's actually, instead of a rain jacket, you might need a little sweater or something because it's pretty chilly outside. I feel like fall really fell into our lap this week, but we are excited for a beautiful evening here on Friday and also on Sunday here at the Overton Park Shell.
Okay, and tell us times and when everything begins.
Yeah, so on Friday, the show, I believe, is at 7 o'clock. And then on Sunday, I want to say it's at 4. I know our Tennessee Shakespeare Company and Shakespeare at the Shell, it typically happens a little earlier in the day, just because it's always been that way. So 7 o'clock Friday, 4 o'clock Sunday. And in addition to both of those events, our mobile shell will be activated in 2 different communities. One in partnership with WDIA. It's one of the first Black African-American radio stations here in the city of Memphis. They are going to be doing their Souls to the Polls event this Saturday, I believe. And that also is going to include some amazing performances from local artists. And then in addition, on Saturday, we are headed to the Raleigh neighborhood to celebrate their bicentennial. So they're going to have food trucks, games, plenty of community engagement for everyone to get involved in. But yeah, we're a little bit of everywhere this weekend as well.
That sounds great. Shelby Smith, again, really appreciated your time all season long, the summer and fall season. It's been great talking with you, and wow, what a season it has been. And thank you so much for you and your crew and everything you guys do at the Overton Park Shell and the Shell on Wheels. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Formula One racing. Wow, that is the fastest growing spectator sport in the U.S., if you can believe it. And if you want to catch it live, you really got to hurry because there's one more chance before the season ends. It's at the Las Vegas Grand Prix next month. In fact, there are some great deals right now if you want to fly in and out of Memphis International Airport. Our travel guy, Gabe Saglier, joining us now from Las Vegas with what you need to know and a peek at the exclusive fan experience. Gabe, let's talk about Formula One and the surging popularity. Good morning.
Hey, great to join you from beautiful Las Vegas. And you said this, as you said, at F1 now, really a global phenomenon. The F1 schedule this year, a testament to that. A record 24 races run this year in 21 countries, 5 continents, and an attendance estimate of more than 6 million people. So clearly, people have gotten word that this may be the track to be at throughout the course of the season. Of course, as you mentioned, it is back in Las Vegas next month, November 21st through the 23rd, for its second second run. Last year, Las Vegas welcomed more than 315,000 F1 fans throughout that weekend, more than half of them out-of-town visitors. The economic impact to Las Vegas from that, $1.5 billion. So it's a win-win, a boon for these cities that host these F1 races, and of course, major adrenaline-pumping action for all those fans.
No question about it. Do you have a couple quick tips around pricing and getting there to catch all the action next month?
Absolutely. So keep in mind, there are more than 10,000 new general admission tickets that have been added this year. So that's going to create greater availability. And prices also have come down from what we saw last year. So that's good news. You want to do your research on some of these fan experiences because all of these beautiful, iconic resorts up and down the Strip will be hosting their fan experiences. I am at the Cosmopolitan right here along what's going to be one of the straightaways here for this track. That's going to be 3.8 miles, 50 laps, top speeds of 215 miles per hour. These guys are hosting their Boulevard Watch Party right here at the Boulevard Pool Deck. Think about dozens of screens that are going to be offering closed circuit viewing of the official Las Vegas Grand Prix television feed, entertainment and food. A quick look, check this out, at some of the food you can expect because this is the kind of gastronomic magic that the folks there at the Cosmo Kitchen can come up with. This is what the VIP guests will be enjoying, some really cool F1 inspired stuff. You can go posh, so right across the street is the Bellagio. They will be hosting what last year was considered probably the sort of the sexiest place to be. The Bellagio fountains, those iconic fountains dancing behind you, and then you are right at street level watching these cars zoom by. One of the great attractions there, by the way, is the Shoey Bar. You know, historically, when these drivers win a race, they will sip their celebratory drink right out of their shoe. And the Shoey Bar features these beautiful hand-designed shoes made in Italy by a company called Sparco. And if we come out here live, I'll show you what these look like. Only 2,500 of these will be made available this year. This is number 873, so they're numbered. And then you can order your cocktail and drink it just like a winner. Oh, right out of the shoe. Cocktail of your choice. Gin martini for me, but you pick what you like. So again, nobody goes thirsty at the Bellagio Fountain Club for F1 next month.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I wasn't expecting that. So, final thing, Gabe, why do you think this sport is the fastest growing spectator sport in the U.S.? Is it all about speed?
I think it is about speed because there's something that sort of it moves you when you sort of tap into that adrenaline. Certainly when you watch it on TV, ESPN, will, of course, will be broadcasting this next month. But when you are here live and you're hearing the roar of those engines zoom by you, you're seeing that action, you're seeing a car go by you at 215 miles an hour, there is that sort of emotive reaction for sure. And I think what's happened now, thanks to a lot of these, like the Netflix documentary that just came out, it's transcending generations. So my kids were a little starstruck when they knew that I was coming to Vegas to talk about F1. The grandparents are going to be tapping into this as well. So it's a multi-generational phenomenon. It can make for a great multi-generational trip, and it's something that you can talk to with the kids, with the grandkids, with your friends. Again, that's become increasingly more pervasive, and the fact it's become a global phenomenon as well helps create increased sort of enthusiasm around this sport for sure.
All right, Gabe Saglia, we appreciate your time. Enjoy yourself on top of the world there in Las Vegas. Thank you.
You got it. Cheers, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, that wraps it up for us here at the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We hope to see you again Monday from 7 to 11. We go each and every weekday. And of course, our Andrew Douglas will be here then. We'll see you. For now, we're going to turn it over to Ariana Poindexter and Maggie McCauley for Action News 5 Midday. We'll see you.